Your four favorites are Aftersun, Minding the Gap, Dìdi, and Where the Wild Things Are. I love this one because these are all great movies, and when I went to see Dìdi, the director of Minding the Gap moderated the Q&A, and Spike Jonze directed Where the Wild Things Are, and he was the voice of the dead squirrel in Dìdi. But more importantly, it feels like there's a cohesive theme in your favorites because you've got coming-of-age films, especially ones that explore the way our relationships with our parents shape us. I'm going to be extremely predictable right off the bat and recommend The Florida Project because you didn't have that one marked as watched, and I think it would fit in well with your favorites. I've also recommended Scrapper and The Quiet Girl to people with Aftersun in their favorites before. Hirokazu Koreeda does such a great job of capturing the perspectives of children in his films while also making a larger statement about family. So I wrote down quite a few of his films that you didn't have marked as watched, but I couldn't choose just one because I really think you'd like Monster and Nobody Knows. Petite Maman is a fantasy film like Where the Wild Things Are, and like Aftersun, it depicts a girl trying to bond with and better understand her parent. Two of my favorite documentaries came out in 2018 and deal with the way people were affected by the environment they were raised in. And one of those movies is Minding the Gap, which is in your favorites, but the other is Three Identical Strangers, so I definitely think you should check that one out. These next four documentaries don't quite touch on the exact same themes, but they involve family, especially parent-child relationships, and I think you'd like them. Tell Me Who I Am, Dick Johnson is Dead, Stories We Tell, and Daughters. Dìdi is about a Taiwanese-American family, and I wrote down a couple movies from Edward Yang, who's a Taiwanese filmmaker. If you love Dìdi more for the coming-of-age story about the stuff with the protagonist's friends, I'd recommend A Brighter Summer Day. If you love Dìdi more for the family side of the story, I'd recommend Yi. The director of Dìdi said he set out to make a Stand By Me for kids who look like him. And I noticed you didn't have Stand By Me marked as watch, so I think you should check it out. But I could also see you enjoying movies like The Perks of Being a Wallflower, Almost Famous, and Cinema Paradiso. Oh, and Mommy too. And since Where the Wild Things Are is a fantasy, I think you might like Pan's Labyrinth, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Bridge to Terabithia, A Monster Calls, and Spirited Away.